Yo, RX back with another breakdown of a banger card in New York called UFC 268, Snowsman vs. Covington. Banger card all around. You got banger after banger after banger on that main card. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking like that. Yeah. Nah, I don't want to. You know me. I don't spend too much time on intros, especially since it's the third time I'm fucking recording this. So yeah, let's not spend too much time. You like it? Like the video? I know you ain't. Comment all that beautiful shit, and I'll love you for it. And as always, let's get into this shit. First fight on the card: CJ Vergara versus Old Day Osbourne. CJ Vergara coming off a nice knockout win on a Contender Series to get a contract. Old Day Osbourne coming off a bad knockout loss to Manel Kopp, getting flatlined and losing to Brian Kelleher. This is a really good fight. This is a really good fight to open the card, especially because these are two swingers, bangers, bro. They want to fight. They're not gonna sit around and wait for their opponent to do something. They're gonna try and knock each other out, and that's why this is a great fight to open the card. They're gonna go in there, stand and bang, and see who drops first. That's why especially I think this is flyweight. Yeah, this is flyweight, and we're saying something like that. This ain't no middleweight. These are two guys who are gonna go out there and swing for the fences, see who gets dropped first. But now, yeah, talk about the actual fighters, not just how they fight. Like I said, CJ is coming off a nice win on Contender Series about a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, about almost 2 months ago on week 2 of Contender Series, getting the contract. And so far, season 5 Contender Series guys are 1-0 with Albert Duraev last week looking greater against Roman Kopylov. So we'll see if CJ continues to train, but the guy standing in his tracks is another Contender Series alum in Old Day Osbourne, who sadly for him after Contender Series has not been doing good in the UFC with a 1-2 record. And those two L's are not bad competition in the slightest in Manel Kopp and Brian Kelleher, but the one win is aged like milk in Jerome Rivera. So yeah, when your last win is Jerome Rivera, well, your only win in UFC, who, if you know Jerome Rivera, he's pretty trash. He's bad. And yeah, they storched him in 26 seconds, but who couldn't do that to Jerome Rivera? But now the fight comes down to, is CJ Vergara as bad as Jerome Rivera? I don't think so. And the betting odds think he is, with Ode coming in at minus 160 to CJ's plus 135. I don't agree with those odds. I think I would have CJ and Ode at minus 115 apiece, because this fight can end with one shot. Both these guys have power, as we have seen, and both guys have a lot of knockouts on their record. And especially for flyweights, most of the time you're talking about the only flyweights you talk about like this that you know most times gonna be a finish: Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno sometimes, and maybe Alex Perez, maybe. So flyweight's getting better though. People are not talking about flyweight enough. Cause you go through division, you got the great division like bantamweight and lightweight and welterweight, which are stacked at the moment. Flyweight's secretly building a good division. The top 15s looked better than it ever has. A lot of the only guy left in the rankings from the the early era of flyweights Tim Elliott. He's probably gonna be done soon. So the new wave of the flyweights in Figueiredo, Moreno, Perez, Royval, Cop are coming in with a new wave of flyweights. And Ode, who was a bantamweight, and CJ, who just got there, are the type of guys you're going to see more of the heavy-hitting midgets. Henry Cejudo, he might not have finished every fight, but he was. We need him back, by the way, but now I'm getting off track. Back to Ode and CJ. Who do I think's going to win? I am going for Dog to begin the card and CJ Vergara. I think he's going to kick Ode out to UFC because I think going 1-3 in the UFC to begin your career, coming off Contender Series no less, is definitely a pink slip. Sorry, Ode, but buddy, I don't think it's your time anymore. Nate, you could come back in a couple years. You are only 29. CJ is only 30. They're both very young guys with bright futures. Whose future is brighter at the moment? I'd probably say CJ Vergara. So yeah, I'm going CJ Vergara by knockout in the first. I think the plus 135 Dog could cash by first round stoppage. So yeah, start the night with a Dog. CJ Vergara knockout in the first. After that, you got a fight I won't spend too much time on because I think it's pretty straightforward. Molesky Baghdasaryan versus Bruno Souza. Bruno Souza stepping in for TJ Laramie, who pulled out about a month ago, I want to say. He pulled out a while ago. And by the way, God, that fight would have been a murder because that TJ's short compared to Molesky. Because Molesky's 6'9", TJ's 6'6". So he would have got killed. But now he's fighting a guy more his height at 5'7", and a natural featherweight because Laramie's a bantamweight if I'm correct. But bad thing for Souza, I don't think it's his night. I think Molesky, a lot of people like Molesky, by the way. Like if you go on Twitter, you'll see some Molesky fans. A lot of people are high on the kid. Why, I'm not quite sure yet. He's looked good in his Contender Series fight about, a year ago? Yeah, last season, and his first fight in the UFC against Colin Anglin. Yeah, he looked good, but especially being a featherweight, he needs to show a lot. And will he show that against Bruno Souza on the biggest stage he's ever been on? For both guys, really? I think he will get a knockout. But do I think he's going to do it impressively? We will see. This is one of the more interesting prelims that have a very hyped up young guy. A couple of these prelims have very hyped up fighters. We'll get to one later who looks really hyped up, and a couple guys who've hyped fell to shit. But we're talking about Molesky right now. And what do I think Molesky's gonna do? I think we're gonna start the card with 2 knockouts, because I'm saying Molesky by knockout in the second. I think he shows off that he maybe not be he might not be all hype. Is he as good as people think he is? We'll see. And coming in at that minus 280 line, he better be. I with a short nose replacement, I guess that line makes sense, but reality, I would say 220. I think he'd be a favorite, but not that big of a favorite, so we'll see. I'm going Molesky by knockout in the second. He's not my lock of the night, though. I know a lot of people are having him and a couple other guys have been locks of the night. But I think my lock of the night's the most generic one of them all, which we'll get to in a couple fights. But right now, we're going with Molesky by knockout in a second. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm rushing through these, but just what am I really going to talk about? Especially with guys I don't know, like Bruno. Molesky by knockout in a second. After that, you got Dustin Jacoby versus John Allen. Jacoby coming in on very short notice. I think he stepped in less than a week, or about a week or less ago, for Aleski Kummer, the guy who trains with Stipe, and not that good. But Jacoby was like, I'll fight, because he is coming off a knockout win against Darren Stewart about 2 months ago, so he's fresh. And it's probably not hard for him to make 202 light heavyweight on short notice, because he's not the biggest dude or the shortest dude, so probably not hard for him to make the weight. But now he's fighting John Allen, who's been preparing longer than he has. Is that gonna matter? I don't think so. Jacoby is coming in at one of the biggest the second biggest favorite on the card at minus 360, which is kinda insane. I think he should be a favorite, but I would say 280. He should be a favorite, but 360 is like, you're confident. I'm confident in him winning, but not 360 confident. John Allen's not good though. I could see why he lost to Rome Deladze. He had a draw with Mike Rodriguez, which is the only thing I remember of him really. And before that, he beat nobodies and lost on Contender Series. So he ain't that good. And Jacoby has been looking really good. He's on a 5 winning streak, if not more. He's on a pretty big winning streak. Where is it? 5 wins, yeah, Contender Series, and now he's won 4 in a row, really, not counting the Cutelaba draw, because we all know Cutelaba win round 1, 10-8, and then lose last 2 rounds. Always ends in draw, but Jacoby knocking out Justin Ledet, beating Max Grisham, and then after Cutelaba, which we just talked about, with Darren Stewart. So, and it's all been fight nights, so let's see how he does on a pay-per-view. And by the way, we all know Jacoby. He was in the UFC a long time ago. Way back. He had 2 fights back in 2011 and 2012, losing them both. But he came back years later, about almost 10 years later, and he's been looking great lately. So let's see if he can keep the return going. Because I'm going, Dustin, and by the way, I think he's going to keep it going with a decision. Again, minus 360, no, but 280, 290, yeah. So I'm going Dustin Jacoby by decision. Could John Allen win? Yeah. Is he going to? Nope. Jacoby decision. I'm trying not to end my fucking recording again like I did last time. But after that, we have probably my favorite prelim, just because it's so bad it's good. John Verlante versus Chris Beast Boy Barnett. What a terribly great fight. Why? Because John Verlante is a can. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, the last one being Ed Herman 3 years ago, and since then he lost to Sam Alvey, fucking Olaneski, Marcel Green, Jake Collier. So he's been losing a lot lately. And this is probably his last chance at a UFC win. And yeah, they're throwing him not a terrible opponent for his talent. And Chris Barnett, who had a bad run in his first fight, but you're fighting Ben Rothwell on short notice, and you're 5'9". Ben Rothwell's a big dude, so being 5'9" and fighting Ben Rothwell ain't easy. So this fight is fucking great. A lot of a funny meme I saw was Stipe versus DC, because they both kind of look like dollar store versions of them. But the betting odds for this fight are fucking weird. You got John Verlante coming in around minus 130 on some lines, and you got near even on others. I'm biased. I like Chris Barnett. How could you not? He's a short, fat guy. So I'm going Chris Barnett by knockout in the first. I'll always pick him. He's just fucking funny. And neither of the other UFC caliber, let's be honest. Verlante is terrible, and Chris Barnett's a freak show fighter at best. So, I'm going Beast Boy Barnett. I guess dog money on some spots. On Tapology says near even, which I agree. I'd say minus 100 each. Cause between two I've said this a couple times on breakdowns. Between two guys who suck, it goes on who sucks less. Who sucks less out of these two? Neither. So, it should be an interesting one. Fuck. Gotta take a drink. I fucking can't talk this long. But yeah, like I said, Beast Boy Barnett by knockout in the first. Do some flips, fat boy. After that, probably the most hyped prelim of them all. You got Jordan Williams versus Ian Gary. Why do I say most hyped prelim? Because Ian Gary's a Conor McGregor boy, just like James Gallagher, who is fighting tonight because it's Friday, and against some mixed guy. I don't watch Bellator unless it's a big fight, so don't question me on Bellator shit. So, Conor's first boy and James Gallagher sucks. Let's see if his next boy does. But this is a real easy fight for Gary because Jordan Williams sucks. He lost on Contender Series, won on Contender Series, and then lost in UFC twice against Nasruddin Ivanov and Mickey Gall. He lost to Mickey Gall. He's come back pretty quick after a bad beating by Mickey Gall 3 months ago, and it doesn't get better for him against the biggest favorite on the card at minus 400 to 350. Williams is gonna die, and I think Gary's gonna get him out there quick. Being an Irish guy, UFC needs some Irish love right now because Conor's hurt, and what's their other option? I'm actually trying to think of an Irish fighter in the UFC right now. I can't think of anyone. I literally can't think of anyone. So, it's obvious who I'm going with. Ian Gary by knockout in the first. A lot of knockouts on this prelims I'm predicting. How do I know they're gonna fall to shit? No idea. But it's RX picks, so they always do terrible. So I think it's clear Gary's gonna win, especially if he has that betting line, he better. And for Jordan Williams, he ain't that good. And I heard I heard he has like some not disease but condition. I think it might be diabetes or some shit. So that might be why his gas tank's non-existent. But I don't think gas tank's gonna matter when you're out cold in round 1. So Ian Gary by knockout in the first. A lot of people talking about him on Twitter and IG and all that, so he better live up to the hype. Ireland needs another fighter in the UFC because Conor's trash now, kind of washed. So Ian Gary by knockout in the first. Man, I got 4 finishes to begin the early prelims. And now we go into, speaking of non-existent gas tanks, and a fight that's really low on the card. Edmond Shabazzin versus Nasruddin Imanov. This is Edmond's last shot. Like, honestly, this is Edmond's last shot, because he looked so bad in his last 2 fights. Getting mauled by Derek Brunson, getting mauled by Jack Hermanson. And he needs this win. He needs this one so badly. Bad thing for him, he does not have an easy fight. Nasruddin Imaev, who just crushed Ian Heinisch about the same time Edmund got smashed by Jack. And Nasruddin's been on a roll lately. 2-1 in the UFC, beating Jordan Williams and Ian Heinisch. Not great wins at all. Losing to Philos, who's fighting later on, actually in the next fight. So he's looked good, and obviously the UFC's high on him. If they're giving him a ranked guy, we gotta remember Edmund Shabazin's ranked. Well, how is he still ranked? I don't know, but he's still ranked. And man, it's hard to pick him in this fight. It honestly is. Because, yeah, you can say, oh, he was fighting wrestlers. Dude, I get it. And yes, he's still extremely young. He's 23. But man, you better hope you don't get taken down there, Edmund. You better hope you got some ground game finally. But, sadly for Edmund Shabazin fans, and people who are somehow still on his hype train because that shit's dead, I don't think he's winning this one. I honestly don't. Could he? Absolutely, but is he going to? No. He would need a knockout. I think he'd need an early knockout because obviously his gas tank doesn't exist right now, and he better hope Nasruddin does not want to take him down. Because if he does, he's done. So, I'm going Nasruddin Imavov by decision. Could he finish Edmund late in round 3 with a finish like Derek Brunson did? Yes. But besides that, I think Nasruddin's gonna take the W and that ranking from Edmund Shabazin. And how hype trains fall so badly. Edmund Shabazin, Johnny Walker, all these guys over the past couple years who were hyped up so much and then fell so badly down. And that's why when we see a hype train who does succeed, people are so surprised. Hamzat Chimaev. But Edmund ain't Hamzat, and he ain't a hype train anymore. He's more of a joke. So he needs this win more than anybody. Not that he gets cut if he loses this, but he's out the rankings, and Nasruddin's gonna take that. So I'm going Nasruddin Imavov by decision. And odds actually have Nasruddin as the minus 130 favorite to plus 110. I don't know how Edmund could be a favorite here. Because could Edmund win? Absolutely he could, but is he going to? I would be surprised. So I'm going Nasruddin by decision. Get to the mat, dude. You got an easy round right there the second you do. So Nasruddin Imavov by decision. After that, a fight that should have happened a couple weeks ago if Philos wasn't a bitch. Which is Philos versus Chris Curtis. Why did he not just accept this fight a couple weeks ago and get an easy win? Philos? Dude, fucking James Krause tried to step in and fight Curtis on like less than a day notice. James Krause is a real one for that. But sadly this ain't James Krause, and sadly this ain't fucking, who was Philos supposed to fight? Who pulled out literally on the day of or missed weight, I think. Who was that? Darren Wynn, yeah, Darren Wynn. He withdrew the day of the weigh-ins. So Curtis tried to step in, but Hawes got scared like a little bitch that he is. But I call him a bitch, even though he's gonna win this fight quick. From what I see, Curtis ain't he's a regional guy. He fights in like shit like XMMA. Who the fuck watches that shit? It's free for a reason, people. Yeah, dude, you can beat guys who are what 26 and 20 and shit like that. Hey, let me see the record of these guys he's beat. 15 and 6, 25 and 14. And when he's fought any big good PFL, he got demolished. Yeah, so he's gonna get flatlined here. Like, let's not try and lie to ourselves. He's gonna get murdered. So I think Philos is gonna knock him out quick in round 1, just like he did against Jacob Malcolm. So yeah, Philos knockout in the first. A lot of fights that could end by knockout on this card. At least on the prelims, though. Should be a fun one. Phil Hawes knockout in the first. And betting odds obviously have Hawes at a huge favorite of minus 350, 360. Curtis coming back plus 270. I agree. Self-explanatory. Yeah. Phil Hawes, bitch, but knockout in the first. After that, we got the best fight on the prelims, and where should be the featured prelim if they weren't hyping up some guy who got two lucky wins. Raging Al Iaquinta versus Bobby King Green. How can this fight not be great? Just like the Fiziev fight, just like the Fiziev fight, you put Bobby Green with another crazy fun fighter, it's yells fireworks. And with an Al Iaquinta who's been off for 2 years, losing to Dan Hooker and Cowboy, before that beating Kevin Lee, losing to Khabib, and beating Diego Sanchez. He was a top lightweight at the time. He was ranked 11th and 10th for forever. They just recently took him out a couple months ago, and now he's back. And he's fighting a guy who's already made a name for himself over the past year and a half during the pandemic. Bobby Green. He really should be on a... He really should... He really should have been ranked after the Moises fight because he beat Moises. And then he lost to Fiziev in a great fight, one of my favorite fights of the year. Just so crazy. And that was only a couple months ago. That was 2 months ago, and he's already back after a loss. He's a fucking madman. And he's fighting Raging Al. Dude, this is gonna be great. I'm so hyped for this fight. Bobby Green has become one of my favorite fighters, especially since he's so underrated. He's literally so underrated for how good he is and how fun he is to watch. And I think he's gonna get a job done here. And a lot of people actually agree that the guy who looked like a can, he just now became somebody in the UFC. He's gonna win. He's a minus 160 to plus 135. I'm amazed he's the favorite here. I really thought name value alone was gonna get Al Iaquinta the favorite. He fought fucking Khabib. He went to the decision with Khabib. He fought Khabib on a day notice. And he's the underdog to Bobby Green, which is insane. I'm picking Bobby Green, and I would still have Al at minus 150 to plus 125. How is he not the favorite? Dude, like I said, I'm picking Bobby Green, but Quinta's beat and fought better competition. Lately, at least. I know Bobby Green fought Dustin Poirier and people like that, but I guess that doesn't matter when you're 34 and 35, which is crazy. Two guys are so old, but are gonna have probably... This is gonna be one of the best fights of the night. I would say 5 of the night, but we have Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler coming up in a little bit, so 5 of the night might be a hard one to get. But this is gonna be probably number 2 or 3, because this is gonna be fun. So I'm going to the King, not Casey O'Neill, the other King, Bobby Green by decision in a war. And now the featured prelim, a fight that it should not be as high on the card as it is. And Andreas Michelauskas versus Alex Pereira. Why is this Alex guy in the UFC? Why is he so high on the card? And why is he a minus 255 favorite? He beat Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing. That's it. He's 34 and not fought in MMA in about 11 months, and before that 5 years. So he just got back into MMA at 34, and he's fighting a guy who couldn't finish KB Bowler. This fight should not be as high on the card as it is, UFC is trying to make this Alex guy a big name because he beat Izzy twice and made money off of that storyline. But it ain't gonna work. Yes, Alex is gonna win this fight, but no, he's not gonna get a title shot against Israel Adesanya. Even if he somehow did, he would get murdered. Just like Vittori and Costa. It's stupid to use these fucking over guys like Bobby Green, fucking Ali Quinta, Edmond Shabazzin for a guy who beat Izzy twice, like 6 years ago. So, if we're doing this, where's the guy that beat Marty Snoozman fucking 20 years ago? Why is he not super high on card? Oh yeah, because he sucks. They got lucky. So, I would love nothing more than Andreas to spoil the hype of Alex Pereira, but dude, he couldn't finish KB Bowler. This guy beat Izzy twice. I don't care how long ago it is. Still, if you can't beat KB Bowler and you're fighting a guy who knocked out Israel Adesanya, you're done. So I'm going to Alex Pereira by knockout in the second. First or second, I don't know. But yeah. And he's obviously a huge favorite at minus 255 to plus 205. I completely disagree. I would have minus 140 to plus 110. So I'm going the hype train, not because I'm on it, just because the other guy sucks. So give me a knockout in first or second from Alex. And that wraps up the prelims, a banger set of prelims. My lock of the card and many others, and Ian Gary's on it. And dude, you got Bobby Green and Ali Quinta. How can that fight suck? So, great prelims to begin the card, but then the main card, holy shit. And I say that because we begin the main card now with Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Yeah, that's happening, and that's on the main card. Holy shit. That's beginning of the main card. Dude, we are spoiled as MMA fans lately. We are fucking spoiled. And actually, no, we ain't. We had to sit through Norm Dumont main events. This is what we get for sitting through those main events, people. We get this. We deserve this. This is gonna be fight of the night. Fight of the year, and it's gonna be a crazy fight. I'm excited. You definitely should be. If you're not, you ain't human. Because when you put the craziest man in the UFC, one of the craziest men in the UFC, against another crazy motherfucker, backflip versus backflip, how could this fight suck? It can't. And that's why this fight's so good. The bang odds are kinda insane, but at the same time I agree. You have the Gaethje coming in at minus 195 to plus 155. Yes and no. I think Gaethje around minus 150 to plus 130, 140 would make more sense. But, you know, I think Gaethje's gonna win. By the way, I'll throw that out there now. I think Gaethje is gonna win. But how? He's been off for about a year since Khabib fight, and then before that he was just crushing everyone. And Chandler just got knocked out by Dubronx about 5 months ago. And then his last loss before that was Pitbull. I'm saying Gaethje's gonna... I've been thinking about the fight like this. The first 2 rounds are gonna be fucking insane. Think Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler. The first 2 rounds are gonna be crazy. But I think Gaethje's gonna break him. I think Gaethje's gonna break him around 3 and finish it. First off, Chandler got finished by a grappler. Wow. Second of all, you got beat by Will Brooks twice. Plus, you don't out crazy. The only man that out crazy Justin Gaethje is Tony Ferguson, and even then, he failed. So I'm going to highlight by knockout in the 3rd fight of the year, and I'm excited, like you should be too. And then after that, you got a fight that's not even that much crazier. Shane Burgos and Billy Quarantillo. Holy shit. What the fuck are we about to see? We're gonna have fucking heart attacks by the end of the night. Shane Burgos, crazy motherfucker who his body had to stop him from fighting. Billy Quarantillo, crazy motherfucker. This fight is gonna be even crazier. How do we are spoiled as MMA fans, damn it. We are spoiled as MMA fans. And actually, like I said, we aren't because we had to deal with Norm Dumont main event. So, Shane Burgos and Billy Q. How could this fight suck? It can. We go from Gaethje Chandler to Burgos and Billy. And then we got more bangers after this. This might be main card of the year. Wow, Dana might be giving out a couple fight of the night bonuses. Fights of the nights. This fight's gonna be crazy. I think we're gonna have a decision on our hands, and I don't agree with these betting odds at all. Not because I'm picking the dog, more because I don't get it. Minus 200 Burgos to plus 168.5. I don't understand that too much, to be honest. If I'm correct, Billy Q was somehow a dog in his last fight against Gabriel Benitez. Yeah, he was a fucking dog in that fight. What the fuck? And he crushed Benitez, and now he's fighting Burgos. I think odds should be 130 Burgos plus 115, 20 Q. Pretty close. Because this fight's less skill. Who out crazies the other? We know Billy Q's a crazy motherfucker. We know Burgos is the craziest motherfucker at featherweight. Just determine who's crazier. I'm going Shane Burgos by decision. His own body had to stop him from fighting against Edson Barboza. It was like, bruh, no man. And one of the weirdest knockouts of the year. So I'm going Shane Burgos by decision. Would I be shocked if Billy Q won? Not at all. But Burgos actually really does need this win though. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, which I feel like no one talks about. And those 2 fights are bangers against Josh Emmett and Edson Barboza. So, neither of these guys can have a boring fight, just like Gaethje and fucking Chandler. And I think we're gonna have, that canvas is gonna be dirty by the time we get to the main event. But I'm saying Shane Burgos by decision. I want to pick Billy Q, I do, but it's like, you're not gonna out crazy Shane Burgos, but Burgos decision. After that, you got the weakest main card fight of them all, Frankie the Answer Edgar versus Marlon Cheeto. Fuck you, Cheeto. You did not beat the Sugar Shot. I don't care what anyone says. But you did beat Song Your Dong, so I'm not gonna waste too much time on this because I was in a good mood talking about other fights. Cheeto's gonna beat him. Dude, Frankie Edgar's 40. He just turned 40 3 weeks ago. Cheeto's gonna kill him. And then he's gonna act cool because he beat a fucking 40-year-old man. He's minus 165 favorite. Yeah, obviously. Cheeto Vera by decision. Fuck you. O'Malley beat your ass though. Fuck you, bitch. And you got bitched out by Jose Aldo, so fuck you, Cheeto. Cheeto decision. Fuck you. After that, the co-main event of the evening. Thug Rose Namajunas versus Whaley Magnum James. Wow, what the wow. First of all, by the way, this should be Carla Esparza versus uh Thug Rose, but UFC said fuck you to Carla Esparza for some reason to make this fight. And it's a great fight, but again, it should be Carla Esparza. The one thing I hate about this fight is I'm picking and still, but I hate when I pick the wrong person in the first fight and I switch on the second fight. I hate that. I've done that so many times. I think the last time I did that, Max and Volkanovski was the last time I can remember doing that. But I'm doing it here. You don't beat Thug Rose in title fights unless you get lucky. You don't beat Thug Rose in MSG. I'm a huge Joanna fan, but man, you don't beat her in MSG. Thug Rose, if she wins this fight, especially knocks her out again, Thug Rose is the greatest strawweight of all time, hands down, no debating it. I trust me. I fucking love Joanna Jędrzejczyk, my favorite female fighter in the UFC. But dude, first of all, Joanna just got removed from the rankings, and she lost, quote unquote, to Whaley. And well, again, quote unquote, she lost to Rose in a rematch. So. Well, I kind of feel like this is gonna go a lot like the Joanna thing. Everyone picked Joanna to win. She got knocked out. I think the betting odds were probably close in the rematch, like they are here, which I'll get to in a minute. And they have a great fight, and Rose wins. Let's see. I want to see the. I don't remember the betting odds for the rematch. Could be honestly, Khabib and Ally coincidence. Yeah, 110 each, just like the odds in this fight. What happened in this fight? Whaley was picked heavily. What happened? She got knocked out. What's this fight gonna be? A 5-round war, and Thug Rose is gonna squeak out a decision, and maybe she'll lose her next fight. If that happens, then fucking, well, I don't even know what to say anymore. If she wins this fight, then she has to fight Carla Esparza again. If she loses this fight, either trilogy, maybe fight Jessica Andrade on her return back to the division. You got a couple options. Women's strawweight secretly became a really good division out of nowhere, and I don't think people can handle it. But I think we're gonna see us still in the first of our 2 title fights. I think Trevor Whitman's gonna start off the night 2-0. The main event night might not end well for him. So this is a great fight. The odds are -110 each. I remember at the beginning of the week, Whaley was like -120. How, I don't know. Whaley's great, but can you really count out Thug Rose? Like, honestly, can you count out Thug Rose anymore? Dude, the last knockout that made me jump out of my seat was the Thug Rose one. When I have nothing but when I'm like bored as fuck and I wanna get my energy pumping, I rewatch the knockout. Wow, that's actually crazy. I didn't know Andreas was a favorite in the first one. Dude, that head kick was so fucking clean, it's insane. Dude, that's the loudest pop I've heard from a crowd in UFC in a while since I would have to rewatch some knockouts. But I think this is gonna be a great fight. And Trevor Whitman, and by the way, the reason Gaethje and Chandler got moved to the first fight, if you haven't heard yet, because Trevor Whitman wanted more time to train, to ready Rose and Kamaru, because he didn't want, cause he also trains Gaethje, so he didn't want to go back to back to back. He wanted to go do first fight, breathe a little bit, get Kamaru and Rose ready. So great coaching. Trevor Whitman is one of the best coaches in MMA, if not the best. So respect to him. He's a genius. He's definitely a fucking genius. Um, and I think his best female fighter in Sug Nasty, Sug Rose is gonna and still, baby. Sorry, Zang Gang. I don't think you're getting that belt back. Now, can you please rematch Joanna? And still, Sug Rose. And then the main event of the evening. Kamaru, the CEO of EPO, Snoozeman versus Colby Chaos Covington. This fight's gonna be fucking insane. The rematch we've been waiting for forever. Kamaru kept ducking him, and now we're getting the fight we deserve. Marty Juiceman coming off a knockout of Jorge Masvidal. Kobe would do it easier. And Kobe coming off about a year layoff of whooping Tyrone. Easier than Kamaru. Baby. No fake nut shots. No Mark Goddard. No bullshit. Who's winning? And new Colby Chaos Covington. People, I'm telling you now, Kamaru coming in minus 310, probably even higher on some bookies. Colby coming to 240, probably, I can guarantee Kamaru's probably 300, 400 somewhere, where Colby's around plus 300. Throw your money down on Colby now. I'm telling you, Colby's winning that boat Saturday night. How's he gonna do it? He's sending Marty Fake Snoozeman to the Shadow Realm. Mark my words. Colby Covington is winning the UFC Welterweight Championship Saturday night in MSG. And if I'm wrong, come back to the video and laugh. I don't delete shit cause I'm not a bitch. Colby got fucked over in the first fight. Fake fight, fake ref. And now we're running it back in Colby's backyard of Madison Square Garden. We ain't in no T-Mobile. We ain't no none of that shit. We're in MSG, baby. MS motherfucking G. This card's gonna be a fire. The cherry on top is a banger cake. Trevor Whitman is gonna be all confident. So is Kamaru. Rose and Gaethje's gonna get a W. They're gonna be confident. I think Kamaru's too confident. He's gonna walk in that cage confident. And he's leaving that cage on a fucking stretcher. Out cold. By knockout. Colby Chaos Covington and new Marty Fake Newsman. You're dead. But that's the picks. If you didn't get them all, I'll run them back for you one more time. CJ Vergara by knockout in the first. Molesky by knockout in the second. Dustin Jacoby decision. Chris Barnett knockout in the first. Ian Gary knockout in the first. Nasruddin Imov decision. Philos knockout in the first. Bobby Green decision. Alex Perez knockout first or second, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure on that one yet. I know I'm picking him, don't know how. Justin Gaethje knockout in the third. Shane Burgos decision. Fuck Marlon Vera decision. Thugging Rose decision. Colby Chaos Covington knockout in the first. Thank you for watching. And as always, RX out. See you Sunday at 7 p.m. boys. when you hear, and no, I told you so. More fake news, man. You're dead. See you Saturday.